$35 is all I paid for this Quadro 2200 graphics card here in 2023. Made for mainly professional uses, the Quadros were not meant for gaming, but we're going to show you what a surprise they actually are in the gaming world in 2023. For our test bench setup, we're using a Ryzen 2700X with 16 gigabytes of RAM. In Valorant at 1080p, we put all the settings on high, even though I know you guys don't like CPU-based games in benchmark videos with graphics cards. Some of you anyway. It's still a game that everybody requests, and we got around 140 to 170 FPS. There were some times it dropped down to 120 occasionally, but it was still very fun and very playable. Overwatch 2 at 1080p, we put it on the high preset settings, which puts some of the settings on high and some of the settings on medium. Overwatch has a lot of stuff going on sometimes with the character abilities, but we were able to get a steady 80 to 90 FPS that was very smooth throughout the game. In Fortnite at 1080p, in the good old performance mode, we put the view distance on epic and we put the textures and meshes on high. We got around 150 to 160 FPS throughout various times of the game. However, it didn't stay there. Sometimes it would drop down to 110, which is not unusual for Fortnite. Fortnite's kind of crazy. Even though they say it's CPU based, sometimes it's just not. You need a decent graphics card for it. In Apex Legends, we tried it at 1080p and 720p. Apex Legends is kind of strange. It's technically a AAA title, although some people think it should be able to run on a potato. At 1080p, we got a very playable experience at 60 FPS, but that doesn't satisfy most people these days, especially with new gen consoles. So for just kicks and giggles, we put it at 720p. At 720p, we were able to get 100 FPS for some of the time, but most of the time I would say it stayed around 80 or 90, which is pretty smooth, and 720p doesn't really bother me. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0 were actually the most shocking part of this entire benchmark. It actually launched the game, and in Warzone 2.0, I was able to drop out of the plane, and then it was bad. The whole entire system crashed, and I had to like power it off and restart it. I never could get it to work. However, the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2 run pretty smooth, considering it's, you know, a $35 graphics card. We got 45 to like 52-ish FPS most of the time, which I thought was kind of crazy. It was kind of fun knowing that you're playing on a $35 graphics card. But yeah, in GTA 5 at 1080p, we put it on the high settings, not the max settings, the high settings. Some people get very, very upset with that. We didn't touch the advanced graphics. It's just high, it's not max, and no, little Timmy, you didn't get 175 FPS at max settings. You just didn't. We drove around in the story mode for a little while, and we got around, you know, 55 to 65 FPS. Overall, for $35, you really can't complain about this graphics card. And if you like this type of video, then you're really gonna love this one.